Alright, welcome back, Dungeon Dwellers, to some more Legend of Keepers, where we are doing pretty damn well, if I have to say so myself. We are about to go into week 48 here, and so we are getting close to week 52, which will be the end of the year, and it should resolve in a, what's it called, a champion fight. We have a chance to train our guys, or we can get an event. Next up is business trip, siege, blood. This is all making gold for us, and then we get an engineer thing and then workout, which we won't be able to use, just like this one here. So I think, yeah, we're going to be training, which means that we want to move all of our units. We can right click them apparently, just pop them over to the other side. Perfect. And say trainer. And see what we can do. I almost certainly want to upgrade our Infernal Guardian Elite, the elite units, since you always want to play them, and they do so freaking well in combat. Look at how strong this guy is with 200 HP, and yeah, it's just. And then now he will do even more damage to people who are burning, which is amazing because we can easily set people on fire. It's just so good. We are obviously training him. We can upgrade the fire elemental even more. So we got a full-on fire combo in the next dungeon here, and I'm looking forward to murdering some fools with that. We can upgrade the Yeti, we can upgrade the Triund, or we could upgrade the Dark Magus. I don't like the Dark Magus all that much though, so I'm gonna go with the Yeti in this case, since we have the full-on ice combo going on. Usually that makes it pretty good. For the 200 gold, yeah, let's do it. Spend while we are at the trainer. Then we have a chance at gold here. We have 5 traps available for the siege. Business trip. It's kind of tricky because I don't want to send any of our guys on the business trip right now. Not really. Same with plunder, is kind of risky, but plunder is not a guarantee that we would lose a guy. So I'm gonna go for the plunder. Oh, but this is risky. See, Malphas here joins the volunteers, and so, for example, here we have a 35% chance of one volunteer being out for 3 weeks. Oh, but it's week 49, so that won't actually matter. He will be back in action before it matters. Okay. Same here. There's a 100% chance that we lose one of them, but next dungeon all monsters are enraged. Okay, and then up here we can get set a monster free. But this is upgraded trap, and this will help us forever for the rest of the run, where this will getting enraged for one dungeon while it's a boss fight. It's really good, and we don't get the motivation bonus that we would otherwise get. It's only for the volunteers here, and so upgrade the trap 100%, and it's only a low chance with the lose a guy here. We did get an injured employee, but we upgraded our rallying horn, which is not a good one to upgrade. It gets very little benefit out of being upgraded. It only upgraded the morale loss that it applies. The cool thing is when you upgrade it again, it applies enraged to the next 2 groups of monsters instead of just the next one in line. Oh, and so we have engineer and workout here. We can't really do any of them. The engineer is absolutely useless because we don't have any money, so we might as well go to the workout and see if we can do something here, and indeed we cannot. There's nothing there we can do. 50 gold and we would have been able to get 10 power, yeah. Unfortunate. Trainer also useless, so we might as well do the event. And we can buy a trap for 75 gold. That's lucky, except we don't have any gold. Alright, too bad. That's sometimes with the trainer, it's worth leaving like 200 gold-ish in your stockpile just for these kinds of things, and I neglected to do that. So bad Keejchen. The guy who was wounded by the plunder is already back, so that did work out. We don't have full-on ice combo, but we do have some available. We want fire combo in the front room, which we have like this. These 3 are the full fire combo. Then we've got nature here. Kathy can go into nature as well. Maybe we put nature. Now we've got too many good things, so I don't know what to do. We could put nature together, or we could This works out for the ice combo. So then I think... And we also have air combo up here with these 3. Maybe we move the air around. Because we have air in the Dark Makers as well. So we have air. And we have fire. That's kind of narrow, but those are at least both good. And then we have ice combo here and nature combo there, and that's also only 2 things. So we are very like one-sided, one-trick pony kind of setup here, but it's still good. And most of our guys have full motivation, which combos with the troll beer. This should be pretty good. We have full health on the Enchantress. I'm confident that we will win here. Depends on the champion. Some of the champions are really tough. So we've been lucky throughout the run. What do we get? Oh, the Hoplite. This is only the 2nd time in my Legend of Keeper's career that I see this guy. He is pretty tough. 90% armor, but luckily we don't care about that. Then, if life is above 35%, damage dealt is increased by 50%. And that's where he starts, obviously, so that's already bad. He has a 100% of final damage to the monster position just behind the target. Passive, if life is under 35%, damage taken from attacks reduced by 50%. So you kind of want to get him low. I mean, we absolutely want him to go low regardless, because he's a beast when he's above the 35%. Yeah. Then he's got a scout who does physical damage to the backline. He also applies broken armor, by the way. It doesn't really matter that much. Dodges the effect of the first trap and lowers incoming penalties. And then we have a herbalist. We found the first healer. And of course it would be in the fight where we have like a really tough hero that we get the healer. This is bad. Like, good for them, bad for us. Bad. Luckily it's only once per dungeon. There's another trait that does passive healing throughout the dungeon, which is worse. This is still bad, because if we get him, they will always use it if they can, and they will use it on the one who's most damaged. So the goal for the first fight will be to damage one of them, not him, below 50% health, so that she spends her healing we'll try to do it on the scout, and we can't do that. It's gonna be perfect, because we're gonna do the cursed prism here. This is the trap in the first room here, so that lowers all their resistances by 20, meaning that the scout goes from 10 positive fire resistance to 10 negative fire resistance, and that is important because of Malphas here. So now he's hitting someone who is already fire weak. It'll bounce around and deal damage to one of the other guys too. So, but can we do full fire combo? We shouldn't, but then now we're doing Malphas, so it seems like it would be prudent. The other thing that we had was an air combo, and that doesn't really work out that well. She's weak to air, but not that much. No, it's fine. We'll do the fire combo. We've got the succubus hitting the front line, and she gets to hit all of them. It's perfect. We want someone up front who can tank some physical damage, also the same in the back, ideally. That'll be the fire elemental. We've got, if I put him in like this is what I'm thinking right now. No, not like that, like this. Let's have a look at it from this angle here. You will be hitting the front liner for 62, you do backline damage 52, and then nature damage to the backline. Okay, and he's not nature resistant. Oh boy. That is rough. Do we have anything who's better? Not versus both. Yeah, no. So he's gonna have to take it like a boss. In fact, I might switch them around because the backline is being hit harder. Oh, except if life is above, he increases damage dealt by 50% and deals 100% of final damage to the monster position behind the target. That's insane. He's gonna one-shot... Oh, he's not gonna one-shot. He does 50% more damage on top of the 62. So yeah, he's gonna one-shot the succubus behind the Infernal Guardian. We have to have armor on the front to keep the succubus for an extra round. Insane. But there's no other way to do it. This is gonna be a rough one. I don't think we get more than... If we're lucky, we get 2 attacks out of our guys. They do a lot of damage to the back line here. Yeah. I mean, at least this guy is pretty slow. She's fast and she's fast. Hopefully we get 2 attacks. I feel like we are not gonna. Ow, ow, ow. I'm messing up. Oh boy. Look at that. I did a dum-dum. The elemental weakness applied here does not apply to the scout because she dodges the effect of the first trap. So that doesn't work. We will not get her into the negative fire resistance. So then we should do the rallying horn. She ignores the effect of the morale damage dealt here. Okay. Then we might want to rethink this encounter entirely. Oh boy. At least I caught it. It might be that it's still what we want to do, but we could go for something else. Like, the highest damage we can, or resistance we can get on the front is still the fire elemental. And the succubus is good here. It's gonna be the same then. Even though we don't get the full benefit of him, we are gonna deal extra damage because of the burn, and then he does apply fire weakness, which means that for the second round we would get the ricochet. If he does survive for a second round, I'm not sure. Yeah, he will be hit by 52, then 52, then 52 again, and then 52. So he won't get 2 attacks in. So maybe he's not the right hero for the backliner here. Do we have anyone who's nature resistant? Yes. The wind elemental. Are you better? Are you better? You go before the nature guy. You get 1 attack only. Because she does 52. Then we get the nature damage in here, but I mean, okay, so he survives that, maybe? Not even guaranteed. Wow. This is a rough one. Do you get 2 attacks? Maybe it doesn't matter. If we can't get 2 attacks, then it doesn't really matter. We might as well just use Malphas. Maybe we can even kill the midliner here in the first round, because we are going to deal a boatload of damage. Because he has full motivation. They all have full motivation. Right? And she doesn't have that much fire resistance. So, and they will all hit her. So we might actually be able to burst her down. I could do the math, but I think it's just about optimizing it as much as possible. If we kill her that quickly... Unfortunately, she's the fastest one, so she will probably get 2 shots off, in which case we will lose Malphas. But we probably get 2 attacks of the succubus. Yeah. I still think this is the best we can do. But damn it, we are gonna get pushed around in this one. I'm not sure if we make it through this one. I'll be entirely honest. Are we doing ice combo, low ice, and decent ice? Okay, we might do ice combo, which is for icy breeze then. We have elemental weakness coming in here, then curse prism. I think we're just gonna go for the ice. Ice baby. We're gonna do the ice elemental up front because it has armor, which works against the Hoplite here. Then in the back we are getting nature and physical. Nature and physical, which is the earth elemental's specialties. So that's nice. Try not to make ice puns, but it kind of works out that way, doesn't it? We could also put Calthy in the middle here. For sure the earth elemental is going to the back. So the question becomes, Are we going for Calthy in the middle? Or the Yeti? The Yeti will be throwing boulders at the backliner, but she's got decent ice resistance. You could try Calthy. They have more fire resistance, but applying the extra application of penalties will be working out quite well for us. Oh boy. I think we will beat them with the master. I hope. Oh, we gotta not screw this up. I think this is the best we can do, though. The thing is, the Yeti can also slow them, which might get us an extra attack with the other guys. In fact, since we are all slower than them, pushing you down by 40, yeah, we will get both of these guys pushed down below my line, so I get an extra attack out of everyone. And so I think the Yeti is better. And also, since we are going with the full-on ice resistance lowering, this makes more sense. Okay. I talked myself into it. Wish me luck, guys. Getting a little bit of poison at the start as well, which is nice. Okay. Then we are gonna get everyone burning for sure. Because then this thing here ricochets to heroes affected by burn. Look at the damage we're dealing. Or we could apply burn to everyone. But I think this is more important. This deals more damage to the center line. Oh boy, that does so much damage. Okay. Yeah, we all... Do we get any more attacks? We get one more with you here. Applying burn or poison. Burn does more to the midliner. We won't get to kill her this, but at this point, she's the one who's going to be healed, but she won't be healed to full. So the more damage we deal, I mean, it's just that at the end of the fight, she will have less. Could we kill her? Oh, it's close. We won't kill her. No. It's so close. Look at that. If she'd had another turn, she would die. But she won't get another turn. Now, and then she gets healed. Okay, but we got through the healing. Now it's purely about killing them. Which we will. We will be able to kill them here. It's fine. It's gonna work out just fine. All the passive damage that we're dealing here. Percentage damage is gonna be really nice. We're getting to a point where burn and frostbite, because they do percentage of maximum life on the high level guys, that becomes way better than like bleed or poison could ever perform. And so when we combo that with lowering the resistances to these percentage damages, it just becomes so freaking good. And the scout is basically dead when she gets her turn here from all the passive damage. And so we will murder them here. Absolutely. Oh, I'm not sure. He still does a ton of damage, that guy. We can lower his ice weakness. Yeah, I'm gonna lower his ice weakness first. Then we slow them. Oh, we could kill the backliner. Are you gonna be able to kill the backliner? She's got 89. But she doesn't do all that much damage. She's attacking the Earth Elemental, who is resistant to her attacks. So I would rather slow the Hoplite and get more use out of my other two guys here. I think that makes sense. We can apply nature weakness to the backliner. No, we're gonna just do Quagmire give us tiredness on the frontliner, so he does less damage. We might get to survive with the Yeti then. Now we're hammering him down. So now he's below 35% health, I think. Yeah, so the other passive has activated. So he takes less damage, but also deals less damage and doesn't hurt both of them. I think we've got this in the bag. Nature weakness or tiredness. We can stack on the tiredness to even more. Okay, we're locking it down now. He's doing 19 damage. Okay. Easy. Let's pretend like I always knew what I was doing here. He's surviving through all of that, despite saying that he was about to die. But there he goes. Alright. And so that was a champion fight, so then we get some good stuffs here. And let's see, we've got an artifact over here. Traps deal 20% additional damage and morale. This is nice, but our traps don't deal damage, they deal penalties, and they are not modified by this. So we're not picking this one, probably. Let's go through the rest. See, this one here, the lure, is cool if you can get it upgraded. It gives traps multi-action. The next trap in line will get multi-action 1, which means it triggers 1 extra time. And if we're thinking about what kind of traps we have, and here's a wish for me, if anyone who knows the developers are listening, why can't I see my traps right now and my creatures so I can make better informed choices? I have to remember what kind of traps we have. Regardless, this is still a good trap. It's like an elite trap. And so it gives morale, and then the next one does twice. But the thing is, if you do the ice trap that we have twice, it just prolongs the amount of time that they have ice weakness. It doesn't give them more ice weakness. Same with the one that gives them elemental weakness. Just gives them a longer time with elemental weakness. We already have it for a pretty long time. Then what other traps do we have? We have the mortar. Doubling the mortar would be pretty good. And then we have the poison trap. That one's really good to double. And that's about it. Yeah. And then we have another elite monster, which is a really good one. If you're doing skeleton combo, because this one specifically, the skeleton lord, when its passive is that all skeletons in the entire dungeon, which means in both rooms, get enraged 3 at the start of a dungeon. But I sold 2 skeletons just recently, right? And we have like two other skeletons. Now he himself will also get the buff, and his attacks are pretty strong, and he's a decently tanky guy. He's got good resistances. If you upgrade him, he becomes really strong. And he's ice, so he could be our new ice combo helper. And he's flexible because he can also do air. Trying to talk myself into it. I'm gonna go for the trap, because this will be consistently good. I think I'm not gonna be using the skeleton lore that much. He's really good. If a full-on skeleton build, I'm gonna show you guys that's at some point. I hope, because that's fun.
Good work. We'd like to offer you a promotion.
Thank you. And a promotion comes in form of a new room in the dungeon in which we are allowed to throw some spells. Because we are the Enchantress, the slaveholder gets a big mini boss monster, which is really, really cool. The Enchantress instead likes throwing more spells, which is cool that they're different. So she gets like a bigger master spell, and there's three different sets that we can choose from. And then later down the line, we can upgrade it so that this room gets to not only do 3 spells from we've selected here, but also can choose. You can build it into it spells from the other sets. So I'll go through all of them, and I also need to reacquaint myself with them, so it's fine. We've got the first room set here has Gaia's Vengeance, which does a ton of nature damage. 120 is a lot, and applies Bounty 7. The monster who defeats this hero, while this bounty is up that's for 7 turns, gains 2 motivation. So this is like a thing that in the dungeon, if you do the specific thing, you get rewarded outside of the dungeon, which is interesting at the very least. Then we got Blazing Snowflakes, does fire and ice damage, less so than the nature damage here, and it's ricochets to the hero positioned behind the target if the target's ice resistance is negative, which we can work towards. Mental Alienation. There's something to be said here, which is that we don't just like all the other rooms. They get shuffled around. So this could end up being the first room in the dungeon, or it can end up being like the last one before the boss. We never know. If it comes right after a trap, we can almost guarantee the blazing snowflakes will be bouncing around, right? And that can do like 36 and 36 is what? About 70, which if you do that to all the heroes, it's way more than 120 nature damage. So it is really good if the target's ice resistance is negative. Then it's really good. Mental alienation. -1 of the target's maximum morale per target's missing life percent. This is a way to switch into a morale combo. If this room comes late in the dungeon, you can basically turn all your damage into morale damage, which is really interesting. And a way to combo into morale build. Okay. Then we've got the next room, which starts with freeze, and it applies tiredness 7. That's amazing, because it means all damage dealt by the heroes are reduced by 70% for each, 10% for each stack of it, maximum 7. So it goes to max, and we are already doing ice, so it's kind of cool. If we can manage to do this right before a monster room, imagine them coming in with dealing only 30% in the first round. That's kind of insane. It'll be 60, because as they start their turn, it goes down to 6. So it'll be 60 damage in the first turn, then 40, then 60 damage lower, then 50% lower, then 40%. That's still amazing. It means we get at least 1 extra round, if not 2 extra rounds, with all the monsters in that room. Elemental Flaw deals 120 damage of the type equivalent to the target's lowest resistance. An amazing spell, because, well, it will always do more than 120% damage. 100, not percent, but 120 damage. The resistances vary a lot, but usually they have at least one resistance that is about -30, so and sometimes way more. And it's worth noting that this is resistance, which means not armor. Resistance is everything other than armor. So it doesn't work with armor, but with the other things. And then Poison Corpses. 48 nature damage and applies Poison Body 10. Applies 3 poison to all heroes when killed. And that one I don't like. I mean, it damages all of them for a lot of nature damage, which is more so than in here, a little bit more. And if it combos into the kill, we can do if you're doing a full poison build already, then it becomes really good. Not my favorite, because you can't reliably know that you will be killing people. Not when I'm selecting it here, but of course later down the line it might be really good. This is still a really good room, but they all are. Because then we're going to the Sandstorm here in the third room set. They are all area attacks, by the way. Here we got 48 air damage, and then this one shuffled the heroes around, which I have used that to great effect before. That's actually a really, really cool thing, because sometimes the heroes combo off of being positioned in specific places, or sometimes your monsters don't align with how we can deal damage versus where their resistances are placed. And so if we can shuffle them around, we can use that to better hit them for more damage. And it also does good damage on its own, so it works out. Incandescent Fireflies does area damage, deals 4% of the target's maximum life as fire damage for each penalty applied to the target. Now that can be a ton of damage for each unique penalty, I believe, applied to the target. That's still, if we can reliably have 2 penalties going, sometimes 3 or 4. And so if you can imagine that it goes 4%, 8%, 10%, 12, and then 16% of their target's maximum life, that can be several hundred damage against some of the higher ones, because it's also then modified by fire resistance, which can also mean that we do less damage. Cursed Seeds do 24 nature damage, that's pretty low, but applies 2 random penalties for 3 turns, which is kind of inconsistent, so not my favorite. I think this is the fun set, but not the best set. In here, the elemental floor is one of my favorites because it's always going to be good. It's just never going to be bad, because you will always deal more than 120 damage. I don't think they can get that passive that gives them extra resistances, and then it's gonna suck somewhat. But then you could choose the ice damage up here with tiredness 7. I think this is the one we're getting. In here is the only option we have to get morale build, but I think we have just long since decided that morale is not gonna happen. This is the way to do it though, to switch it around and have the option open, but we don't need it. If we double down on just dealing damage, we will be able to power through resistances and such, I hope. We can always, like I said, there will be events that allow us to expand the set with spells from the other sets later down the line, and then we could buy the mental alienation into our room if we wanted. I think we're gonna go for this one. This one with the tiredness is amazing. The one with the mental floor is amazing. And in niche cases, if we do full-on poison stuff, the poison body thing here might be good. Let's grab that. I talked about that for a long time. Is that like a full episode already? Basically is, but it was a longer fight, and I think we are gonna cut it there for that reason. So now we are going into year 2, and I still think it's 3 years. It might only be 2. It's kind of hard to tell. But anyway, so I hope everyone is enjoying Legend of Keepers. It's an amazing game. Check it out on Steam if you haven't already. And with that, it's Keejchen signing off. See you next time, and bye.